What if Earth was hit by a meteor 10 times stronger than the one that killed dinosaurs? Imagine the unimaginable. 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid about 10 kilometers wide slammed into Earth and triggered one of the most devastating mass extinctions in history. Dinosaurs, along with nearly 75% of all species, vanished from the planet. Now, try to picture this. What if a meteorite struck Earth today, but with 10 times the power of that catastrophic event? What would happen in the minutes, days, months, and even 1 year after such an impact? The moment of impact would be beyond comprehension. The Chicxulub impact, which wiped out the dinosaurs, released energy equal to billions of nuclear bombs. A meteorite 10 times more powerful would release energy so immense that the very surface of the Earth would quake as if the entire crust was tearing apart. The fireball alone would be hundreds of kilometers wide, instantly vaporizing everything near the impact zones. Easus, his oceans gone, in a fraction of a second. Shockwaves would circle the globe, flattening everything in their path. Within minutes, massive earthquakes would ripple across continents. Volcanic activity could be triggered worldwide as the immense energy disturbs the Earth's tectonic plates. Tsunamis higher than skyscrapers would race across oceans, smashing coastlines thousands of kilometers away. Air pressure waves would travel around the globe multiple times, deafening animals and destroying human-made structures. It would be destruction on a level humanity has never experienced. In the first few hours, the atmosphere itself would become a weapon. As debris from the impact site launches into space and falls back down, the friction would heat the sky to thousands of degrees. Cities far from the impact would ignite into firestorms as flaming debris rains down. Even forests on the opposite side of the planet could catch fire. Nearly every region of Earth would experience wildfires, covering the globe in choking smoke. As the hours turned to days, the entire planet would plunge into chaos. The skies would darken, filled with dust, ash, and vaporized rock that blocks sunlight. Temperatures would plummet as sunlight fails to reach the ground. This phenomenon is called an impact winter. Crops would fail almost instantly, ecosystems would collapse, and food chains would be destroyed. In a matter of weeks, starvation would spread across the human population, while countless animal species would vanish. By 1 month after the impact, the Earth would be almost unrecognizable. Oceans would be filled with debris and ash. The once blue skies would be pitch black, and the surface temperature could drop to near freezing, even in tropical regions. Acid rain, created by chemical reactions in the atmosphere, would poison lakes and rivers. Survivors would find themselves struggling not just against hunger, but also against freezing cold and toxic air. 6 months later, the Earth would still be shrouded in a veil of dust and smoke. The global climate would be in ruins, sunlight barely reaching the ground, leading to almost no photosynthesis. Plants would die en masse, followed by herbivores and then carnivores. Humanity's global food system would collapse, leading to famine unlike anything in recorded history. Advanced technology and underground shelters might keep small groups alive, but billions of people would not survive. Now, let's look 1 year after the impact. The skies would slowly begin to clear as gravity and rainfall remove some of the debris from the atmosphere. But the planet left behind would be scarred forever. Massive craters, continents reshaped, coastlines erased. The extinction level would be worse than the dinosaurs faced, possibly wiping out 90 to 95% of all living things. Humanity's survival would hang by the thinnest thread. Small, scattered communities might rebuild, but civilization as we know it would likely end. By the decade mark, Earth would enter a slow but undeniable path toward rebirth. Sunlight would fully return, and hardy plants such as moss, lichens, and grasses would start recolonizing the barren lands. However, large animals, mammals, birds, and reptiles would remain rare. Since ecosystems would need much longer to rebuild food chains, humanity, if still present in any significant numbers, would live in a drastically reduced post-apocalyptic world. Societies would no longer resemble the complex, global civilization we once knew, but rather isolated communities struggling to maintain knowledge and culture amidst scarcity. In the grand scale of Earth's history, 10 years is nothing but a blink. But for survivors, it would feel like an eternity. The memory of the impact, the fire, the darkness. The famine would be passed down as stories, myths, or warnings to future generations. And over the next thousands to millions of years, Earth would eventually heal, as it always does. New life would evolve, ecosystems would return, and perhaps one day, intelligent beings might rise again, looking at the stars and wondering if they too faced the threat of cosmic destruction. The long-term effects would be equally devastating. Even as sunlight returns, ecosystems would take thousands, maybe millions of years to recover. New species might evolve, filling the niches left behind, just as mammals once replaced dinosaurs. If humans somehow survived, they would inherit a radically changed Earth, one with fewer resources, unstable climates, and a fragile environment. The question is not whether life would go on, it always does, but whether humans would be part of that future. This scenario reminds us of the raw, destructive power of the universe. Earth, as solid and permanent as it feels under our feet, is still vulnerable to cosmic accidents. The dinosaurs had no defense, but humanity today has the knowledge to see these threats coming. Whether we act on that knowledge to detect, deflect, or prepare for a future impact, we'll decide if we can avoid sharing the fate of the dinosaurs, or worse,